Hey friends out there, Scott Barber here at Grace Community Church. Wanted to share a little bit of a devotion here with you. In fact, I want to invite you on a journey here with me. I'm going to be walking through the book of Philippians here for the next while, and just on my heart to do some just really simple, basic kind of just devotional reflections here, and just taking a few verses at a time. And so until for however long it takes to walk through the book of Philippians, I'm going to be walking through this just real briefly through the week. And so I want to pick it up today. And the reason why I chose Philippians is because there's a theme of what I call resilient joy. And I don't know about you, but that's pretty exciting stuff. Resilient joy. Joy that is not determined by our circumstances or our situation. Joy that is an overcoming joy. Joy that is powerful. That doesn't, again, it's not affected by any external things. And so we're going to be diving into Philippians and looking at what is this resilient joy that's present here in this book and in the people involved. And so as we start off here, jumping in the book of Philippians, it's important to know that Paul is writing to this church plant that he started, and Paul is writing and he's in prison. All right, you talk about social isolation and some quarantine going on. Paul is kind of in a situation like many of us are in right now, that he has no ability to go out, and he's even more restricted. He can't even go get groceries. He can't even go get toilet paper. I'm pretty sure all the straw was used up at then. I don't know, but Paul was imprisoned at this time and completely restricted. So this is how he begins his letter to this church in Philippians, the people in Philippians. He says, "I thank my God in all my remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine for you, making prayer with joy, because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now. And I'm sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. And it's right for me to feel this way about you, because I hold you in my heart, for you are all partakers with me of grace, both in my imprisonment and in the defense and confirmation of the gospel." Now, Paul starts off this letter. Now, remember, Paul is totally in quarantine here. Paul is in prison. I mean, life isn't going great for Paul, but what does he say? "I thank God in all my remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine for you," making that prayer with joy. This is really fascinating. Paul is praying for these other people. They're all free. They're not restricted. They're not persecuted. They're not in pain and suffering like he is. And Paul's praying for them. And notice that he's making prayer with joy. Why? Because there's a connection here. A connection in this relationship with Paul that transcends proximity. That it transcends the function of what this relationship can do for him. Just because they're not able to be together doesn't mean that this relationship stops, right? Paul could focus on how bad things are for him, but instead of focusing on how bad things are for him, he focuses on others. He focuses on those he cares about. You know, our temptation is to focus on those we miss, those we can't be with, right? But Paul shows us another way, that we can focus on others who we are not with by praying for them. We can be lifting them up. We can be thanking God for those, our friends, our family members, our coworkers. We're lifting them up, praising God for those relationships, for those people, praying for the Lord to bless them and fill them. This is a way that we can turn that frown upside down, right? That Paul was too blessed to be stressed. And I know that's cliche, but it's true. And we're going to unpack that in this book of Philippians. But he was too blessed to be stressed because he had this resilient joy because of Jesus. See, the reason why he says this in verse 8, "For God is my witness, how I yearn for you with the affection of Jesus Christ." Paul was drinking deep of God's love for him through Jesus. And that turned his focus not on himself, but on the Father first, and therefore on others. So I want to invite you, in this season where we're restricted, we're called to stay at home, and we're limited in terms of our ability to connect with others face to face. But what about praying for others? Why don't you take it up? Take some time each day and bless others with praying for them. And Paul says praying with joy. There's two pieces here. It's praying with the joy that Jesus has given for them, but it's also praying because it brings him joy. You know, you'll find that as you're praying for these people, your friends, your coworkers, your family, thanking God for them, you're blessing them, but you're also going to be blessed. So I hope, friends, you'll be able to take a taste of this resilient joy that comes from receiving the love of Jesus and focusing not on you and not on what you're missing out, but focusing that love that you received from Jesus on others, praying for them, thanking God for them, and you'll find that they're going to be blessed, and so will you.